Hello, and thanks for joining me for another review. Today we have the U18 Smartwatch. This watch has a 240 by 240 IPS screen. It has really nice color. It has built-in Wi-Fi, GPS, NFC, Bluetooth 4.0, and it has 512 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of internal memory. On the right side, you have a home button and a charging port, micro USB. On the other side, you have the speaker port. On the front, you have the home button, another home button. On the back, it's just shiny black, no heart sensor or anything like that. Let's take a look inside the watch. You have your standard apps, phone, history, notifications, people, pedometer, sleep monitor, the weather. The weather doesn't work unless it's connected to your phone, which has to be an Android. You have Find Your Phone, settings, sound recorder, schedule, music. You can load music onto your watch and play it back from there. Sounds pretty good. Now at the top, you can load apps on here. Because this is running Android 4.4. Some apps don't work, but some do. I was able to get Yahoo Weather to load onto it. Inside the apps, you have the stopwatch, the timer, Bluetooth connection, multimedia. You can also make phone calls if you hook this to an Android phone. It has a compass, though I really haven't got the compass to work that well. But I maybe because I'm indoors. And I was able to get Chrome loaded onto it, and it works fairly well. The browser that it comes with it is really Chinese based, so it's hard to use. Not unusable, but hard to use. And you have your download center, file manager, so you can go through and see the things that you've loaded on there for like pictures and other apps and stuff like that. I could not get the App Store loaded onto this phone. It kept rejecting it, but you shouldn't have any problem of doing a Google search and finding the apps you want and then loading them straight into the download folder and then open them from there, because that's what I did. Your Wi-Fi, you're able to, what I like about this one is you're able to actually search for Wi-Fi connections, and the keyboard pops up so you're able to log into them straight from the watch without having the phone near you. So if you have applications that need the Wi-Fi, then you're able to run those without the actual phone being there. Now the weather information that is provided on this phone only works with the phone being attached to it. That's why I loaded the Yahoo Weather, because you don't need the phone for that one. You have your Bluetooth, time and date. You got your audio profile, sound, the display, and it does come with some wallpaper, but you can, if you load your own pictures, you can use the gallery or you can use the wallpaper. Now this only puts a skin behind the clock, so you're limited to whatever, the clock faces that they have. And they have quite a few of them I like. You got your locations, and you can go to the about. You can see that it's running Android 4.4.2. Let's go back up. Let's go to the date and time. And you can go to clock style. And you can flip through them. And then when you find the one that you want, you just click on it and it'll appear. They got really nice ones. This is one I'm currently using. It tells the time and the date. You also have one if you have notifications come up. And this one, if you're into exercise, then you can use this one to monitor your steps. But the last one wasn't able to get to, but it tells the weather at the bottom. I've noticed that the Bluetooth connection with this and the Wi-Fi is not very strong. So if you don't have a full battery and you don't have, and it's not close to the actual source, then it's going to be hard to use. But because I noticed it logging in and out, which is sort of a hassle, I was able to get it connected to my phone. I have an iPhone, and I use that Wi-Fi hotspot, and that seemed to work out pretty well. As far as the Bluetooth portion of it, that didn't work out at all. I wasn't able to get any kind of notifications or anything like that, or even use the phone or the watch as a phone. But I do have an Android phone. I was able to connect to that. It has a Bluetooth portion in here, which is different. You have Bluetooth connections, but in the settings, you also have a Bluetooth in there where you connect to the phone. Then you go back to the Bluetooth connections, and you scroll down to where it says managed apps. This has an app that's built into the phone that it transmits Bluetooth to your phone and sets up an application that will let you manage the phone. If we go over to the phone, I've got a little cheap Android phone here. And if you'll notice, it's called U18. You click on that, the app comes up. Like I said, now this app is inside the watch, and it's transferred by Bluetooth once you pair it with it. And like I said, it's hard to get the watch paired with the phone. But once you do, it stays for a pretty good while, unless the battery drops. And but if you go to connections or clock styles, all the clock faces are in this app, and all you have to do is click on them, and it changes pretty quickly. Now, the one thing I did find on this that I did not care for is you have it in military, and you also have the regular 12-hour clock. But when it gets to 12 noon in the regular clock, it's 00 and then the minutes. And it's very hard to switch between those. And it's also hard to switch between the Fahrenheit and the Celsius in the weather app. Not sure exactly why. It might be just a bug. And I don't foresee any kind of updates coming for this, but you never know. Maybe something like the XDA developers will have something that you can flash it with. But for the meanwhile, you're stuck with the weird time flashing back and forth between military and in regular time. And some of the settings will flip-flop too, like the time you have it for it to stay on. I try to set it for like 1 minute, and I'll go back and it's set for 7 seconds, and it's irritating for that. This does have another feature where you can activate it by just twisting your wrist. So if it's off, you just twist it up and it'll automatically come on. That's handy. But I noticed that it comes on a lot. I think it's based on the gyroscope, so anytime that you swing your arm in a certain motion, it's going to come on. I was able to take the watch apart, and all you have to do is take out these 4 screws, start in the corner, and with your fingernail and slide it all the way around. It'll pop right open. You don't have to worry about the bands coming off or anything like that. This black piece right here, from here all the way over, will just pop right off. Underneath, you'll see the battery, and you'll see the connections and stuff like that. Seems like a very well made. I just wished it was had a better Wi-Fi and Bluetooth strength. But when you take these four screws out and you pop the back off, these bands are replaceable, but only if you have the other part of this watch. Because when you take these screws out, there's two more screws that hold the band in it, so it's not a pin. And so if you want to replace them with something else, then you just more or less have to either go back to the company you bought it from. This U18 watch is made by several different, well, I shouldn't say made by, but it's branded by several different people. I've seen several different names along with it, but they all say U18. So when you're looking for this, you know, then I found this one on Amazon, and I think I paid $50 for it. And but if you keep looking, you should be able to get it fairly cheap. Would I buy this watch again? No, I wouldn't. It's got too many flaws that just irritate me, and it doesn't work as well as I hoped it would. But if you have an Android phone, then that you use as your primary, then you'll have a better luck with this. But as far as with an iPhone, it's not a buy because it just doesn't connect well. Maybe in the future if they come out with a new program or something like that, or an app. But for right now, it's more or less useless for iPhone users. And like I said, the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth is just too weak to really be useful. I connected it to a Bluetooth speaker, and it had to be literally this far away for it to work. I mean, literally that far away did not work. Did not work. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, if you're going to like lay it like that on top of it and just set it somewhere, then you'll be fine. But it's Bluetooth is ridiculously short range. Anyway, that's my review of the U18 Smartwatch, and like I said, I picked it up off of Amazon for $50. Not saying you're going to find it there for that, but if you look around, you might be able to find it near that price. But I would not pay more than $60 for this watch if you are seriously looking for a watch with all these stuff built into it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and thumbs up, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.